See, whatever you're doing, however you spend your time, that tells you who you are. So think about what it is you like to create in your life experience. Once I look at how you commit your time, once I do an evaluation on how you spend your time, I can tell you exactly what you're committed to. How much time do you spend working on you? How much time do you spend every day working on your dream? In the last 90 days, how many books have you read? In the last year, what new skill or knowledge have you acquired? What kind of investment have you made in you?
A lot of people, as soon as they punch out, they rush home to sit on the couch. They rush home to do nothing. They rush home just to sit there and figure out, okay, I'm going to go to sleep, do it all tomorrow.
You have to give it everything you got. No more TV, no more parties, no more playing. If you don't have a 4.0, what you need to be doing is studying.
This is a life class. That means that we have an opportunity to learn how to maximize our lives. Think of the things that you're doing that somebody else could be doing. And think of yourself as a precious commodity that you are going to reserve your energy for your highest and best use.
All the successful people had the exact same amount of time that you have each day. So what did they do that you may not be doing? They invested in themselves. On the weekends, after work, in the evening, they put time in something that they wanted to do. They invested their own time in themselves.
We are busier than any other generation we have seen in the last 300 to 400 years. We are just as busy as we can be, and we think because we're busy, we're effective. But I want you to challenge your schedule for a minute and ask yourself, are you really being effective? Or is your life cluttered with all kinds of stuff that demands you and drains you and taxes you and stops you from being your highest and best self? And are you substituting busyness and all the chaos that goes along with busyness from being effective? It takes time to be creative. You were meant to be creative. You were created in the likeness and the image of a creator, and in that likeness and in that image, you have creativity. If you had time, you would be creative. The most important thing is to value our time.
So what are you going to do with this time? How much of it do you think you've already used up? What are you going to do today?
Make it in life, you got to know your vitamin. You've got to know every no brings you a step closer to a yes. Anybody can stop because someone said no.
To the rim and then going home and trying to go to sleep and think, is it worth it? Am I ever going to dunk a basketball? Like, maybe this is it. But that wasn't enough. Because on paper, I used to look like I wasn't even on the team. 5'5", 117 pounds. I didn't want people to count me out because of how tall I was. I didn't have really any real role models that was my height. So that was like the hardest thing for me, is I didn't see anybody who was like me that could do it. You know how I got my first dunk? An accident. The ball bounced off the rim and I caught it and put it back in and grabbed the rim. And guess what? I didn't dunk for 3 more weeks after that. But I still did it. And then I saw an article about a Russian powerlifting team, and and there was a fat Russian celebrating after a powerlifting event. And he was celebrating, but he was like 3 or 4 feet off the ground. So I started researching Russian powerlifting and like all the stuff that they did, like as far as like explosion training. Like that summer from my sophomore year to my junior year, I gained about 25 pounds of muscle. I put 18.5 inches on my vertical leap. And people always say, well, why do you work out so hard? I'm like, how many people do you know that's 5'5" dunking? That's what it took. So that's the only style of training that I know, because it's not normal to jump that high off the ground and take a basketball with you and then land safely. It's not normal. It's not something that everybody in the world is doing. I had to do so much ridiculous training and hours of running, jumping, and lifting and throwing stuff just to put a little basketball inside of a cylinder that's 10 feet off the ground. And it's still worth 2 points. I'm willing to put myself through all this pain and anguish for that one moment to say, I can do it. Everybody fails. The only way to get to succeeding is failing. You have to learn how to succeed. It's just that simple. It's not easy. Just because a road you choose doesn't have pavement on it doesn't mean you need to walk down it. And that's what I love about my journey right now, is that my stories get out in the sense of kids are gonna realize that, hey, he was 5'5", and he was first team All-Ohio and went on to do great things in basketball being that small. So I can do it too. Anything's possible, like anything. I'm just a small town kid from Ohio. My grandfather, my mother, they used to always tell me, work hard, work hard, work hard. And, you're like, yeah, okay, but nothing's happening, and then boom, it's possible. I train this way because I want kids to realize that just because you're small, just because you're not from a big city, you can still do it. You can still live out your dream. You can still dunk a basketball. You can still be the best player on your team if you want to. I always tell people, like, just because you see somebody who's small, don't count them out. And I think that's so cool, is that I have the chance to tell that kid who's in Iowa right now, sitting in front of his computer watching a YouTube channel, and he finds my video and he finds out that I'm the same height as him, and for one split second, he may think, I can do it. And that's enough.
Brandon Todd hits for a career-high 42 points, 10 three-pointers, and the Bobcats, top 2 sectional, move on to the sectional final.